Hey, welcome back. Yes, it's a beautiful Monday morning here in rural Retreat, Virginia, here at the Hotel Orloff. And just got a package in the mail. So let's take a look at that. I'm supposed to get two packages today. I think the first one, well, there's the guy that delivers the big packages in a truck, and then there's the regular foot mailman that comes around. And I think the other package is small enough that it went with the regular mailman. That's at least what I'm wanting to believe because it's not here yet. But let's take a look at this one. Well, first of all, got this copy of Spacemen from July 1961. This isn't a real copy, this is a facsimile. Um, Spacemen from July '61, first issue by the editors of Famous Monsters. Never before. Space, space photos and stories for movies you didn't see. How about that? Man, this facsimile came out about a year or two ago, and I don't know what a copy of the original magazine would cost. I don't know. So, this was really Forrest J. Ackerman's main so I'm recording music at the same time. Forrest J. Ackerman's real love was science fiction, which he called sci-fi. He was really proud that he came up with that term. But anyway, the real science fiction people bristle at it, and they say it's science fiction or scientific. You know, they want to come up with these other stupid terms, and they sci-fi because it's like a few years ago, high definition was all people were saying. Back in the late '50s, it was hi-fi. Everything was hi-fi. So he thought, well, sci-fi would be a good one. And but a lot of the science fiction people, they think that's too juvenile. Anyway, it reminds me a lot of what's going on right now all over YouTube. There's a movie coming out this Friday, James Gunn's Superman movie. And wonderful ads in the back. So there are people that have never read comic books in their life. They've never even picked one up, but consider themselves authorities of comic book history because they've seen these Zack Snyder movies where Superman is this brooding God looking down. I've got to save these people. So maybe I should just let them die. That's kind of the way, this non-smiling Superman that is very unlike the comics, and so these people say this. What James Gunn's doing is ridiculous. The Superman's got underwear on the outside. Yeah, because Superman's worn underwear on the outside for about 80 years in the comics. But that's stupid. Why would you do that? Well, and this movie looks silly. The tone is silly. There are some critics there that have broken the embargo. They've said that it's a silly movie. Yeah, because it's based on a silly comic book, ladies and gentlemen. It's based on a wonderfully silly. And when I say silly, it's not an insult. And they said, but comic books aren't for kids. I was just watching this guy on YouTube. I like my comic books movies mature. I wanted to watch a child's movie. I've got Pixar for that. I don't want to. I want to see a serious Superman movie. Oh, please! You're talking. James Gunn's based it on the Silver Age comics, and the way things were until relatively recently in the comics, where you've got cats flying around with red capes and monkeys with capes and entire cities from Krypton inside of a bottle, and just wonderfully bizarre, insane, bizarro Supermen coming from a square version of the planet Earth. It was so much fun, and I think James Gunn's trying to bring the fun back. Now, James Gunn's getting baited into some things in interviews because James Gunn still his I hate to use the expression butt hurt, but he's still is still bristling from all that getting fired from Marvel because all these people. Well, he was knocking Trump, and then the Trump people went back into James Gunn's Twitter history and found all these horrible jokes he used to make when he was punk rock. I mean, really horrible jokes. And they put that out, and then Marvel fired him. Then they brought him back for Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3 because they realized no one else could do that because no one else knows comic books like James Gunn. We've seen James. I don't like that old Twitter stuff. I don't think it was funny. But James Gunn knows comic books, and he does a good job with comic book movies. The Guardians of the Galaxy movies, the the not the first horrible Suicide Squad movie, but the one he did, and then the Peacemaker series was fun. I just like fun, and I think that, well, James Gunn got baited into some interview where he says, "Well, Superman is an immigrant, and it's about kindness and how he's not treated kindly when he gets to Earth." And it's like, oh, brother, it's like, and there's some jerks out there that may not like the kindness in Superman. In other words, Trump supporters aren't going to like it because Superman's an illegal immigrant. And he didn't have a choice. He showed up as a baby in a rocket ship. It's not like he willingly did that. It's James Gunn. You know, don't pull up Rachel Ziegler, man. I'm confident the movie's going to be fun. Unfortunately, it's not playing here locally. I've got to drive an hour to see it, so I guess I'll try to do that Friday. Anyway, you didn't come here to hear me talk, right? You came here to see these wonderful facsimiles. So anyway, it's on slick paper. It's this was given to me at a discount because it arrived damaged in the mail. See, it's a lot less damage than probably it would have if it was a real issue of Spaceman #1. I've never seen a copy of Spaceman #1 for sale, or I probably would have bought it. I don't know what the original book goes for. Don't know. And then they also did, this one also came in the same shipment, and it was damaged in the mail also, so I got it at a discount. But it's a facsimile of another issue of Spaceman. I don't know if this is Spaceman #2. Yeah, Forrest J. Ackerman had Famous Monsters going, so he did another magazine about Westerns and one about... he did a magazine about Westerns and a magazine called Screen Thrills that was about movie serials and Tarzan movies and just adventure movies. So, yeah. Actually, here they have back issues of Spaceman. I have that real issue of Spaceman, but you don't see these very often. An automatic that shoots flames. Your own car. These ads are fantastic. You know, these people that are all complaining on YouTube that the Superman's going to be too silly are the same people that complain about Warren magazines. I don't like all those ads in the back. It's a waste of space. The ads were what were so great about the Warren magazines. Warren's competitors didn't have this many pages of ads for wonderful things, man. That's where I would go to first when I was a kid. Is I would always go to the ads in the back, and there's look at all the back issues. This is at this point that this magazine came out. Famous Monsters was only up to issue 19. Yeah, this is a great magazine. It's just more aimed at science fiction than. There's an article on Metropolis. It's getting hot in here, man. I better turn on the fan. It was getting so cold that I shut that vent right there. I shut it completely because I just thought I'll let all the cool air go upstairs, but oh well. Man, I hope you're praying for the people of South Texas, near San Antonio, Guadalupe River. My grandfather had a river house on the Guadalupe River near Seguin, and I remember going in there in 73, 74 and seeing the damage and seeing where the water level had been in that house. But I think the flood had happened in the late 60s. It had just sat that way for a few years. Okay, also got this issue of Marvel Team Up. The significance about this issue that makes it a key issue. I hate that word, key issue, but I really hate it. The main reason this is a big deal, well, this is in very nice shape, is it's the first time John Byrne ever drew the X-Men. Of course, that's what, this bag's a little tight. That's what, and this looks like a brand new issue, that's great. Anyway, John Byrne, of course, would later, those were his great years. John Byrne's great years when he was working on the Uncanny X-Men, but this is the first time he drew them. And this is January of 77. Okay, so I was in the middle of 6th grade, watching $6 Million Man and Laverne and Shirley, and this is when that Treasury edition came out, reprinting the first issue of Howard the Duck, because most of us weren't able to. I looked everywhere. Of course, there was only one place for me to look, the PX, because I was living on an army base, and Howard the Duck never came there. And then they said, well, this is an expensive book. It's $35 because it had low distribution. It didn't have low distribution. It was the speculators went to the comic book distributors and bought it up in bulk, and then it never got to the newsstands. Because see these little comic catalog people that advertise in here? There's all these people selling comics. These young guys that look like Roy Thomas, with the nerd hippies that collected comics. They were starting their comic book businesses, and they would buy up things, and that's why they bought up all the DC Kirby stuff when it first came out. So then DC would get these numbers of how many comics sold at the newsstand, and they were very low, and it's like, oh man, this book's not selling. No, it's because the books never got to the newsstand to be sold. I thought I'll find the panel where the X-Men first appear in here. But man, I'm not feeling too. Maybe that's the mailman. Not the barking, that's my dog. But perhaps she's barking at the mailman, which means the other book that I ordered came in. Well, it doesn't look like he draws all the X-Men in here, or does he? I don't know, man. But it's a key issue, man. It's a key issue. Don't you forget that. Oh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, there they are. How about that? Yep, there they are. There they are, man. Key issue. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's got a 2-page spread. Yeah, John Byrne, the first time he draws the X-Men. Actually is. I hate the term key issue. I hate all these new terms, but I have to admit, if there's a key issue, this is a key. That's pretty spectacular. Because those years of John Byrne on X-Men were so great. Join the Dinky Starfleet. They were cool toys out of England. I just always questioned, man, they could have come up with a better name than Dinky, man. Why don't you just call yourself Dorky? Evil Knievel, man. Evil Knievel miniatures is for sale on the back of that. I was just this morning thinking about Virginia and, you know, the state that I live in. I used to live in Hampton, Virginia, and second grade. And I have wonderful memories of this bookstore we would go to. Man, it had all the monster magazines. Everything was there. Those were the wonderful years, 72, 73. It was 1 year of second grade. Wonderful time. But now that elementary school I went to is closed. And usually elementary schools don't close unless a whole, you know, community, just everybody moves away. More than likely it closed because the school was not doing well test-wise, usually. So, I don't know, man. Anyway, it's sad, but I was thinking about my last memory of Hampton, Virginia, before we moved to San Antonio, where the floods were happening. Just happened a few days ago. Was buying plot number 1 at the 7-Eleven, and then I came home and we pretty much got in the car and we drove to Texas. And anyway, this issue of Mad is from the good old days of June 2019. We didn't know what was coming in a few short months. How we would get a little dose of tyranny, and they would see how many people would wear their little masks and do their little things, and you know, whatever. But inside this issue of Mad, look at this, man. They're of course they're making fun of Trump. But you know, the great thing about William, because this is not the real Mad. All the people that made Mad are, no, they're not. Sergio Aragonés. I try to, as a kid, I was calling Sergio Aragonés, but no, I try to pronounce it properly. Sergio Aragonés. One of my favorite artists. He's still around. He's about the only, is he the only guy still around from the usual gang of idiots? Well, I need music. Why is there no music playing, man? That's what's ruining this video, man. Hold on. Anyway, music. Okay, so anyway, William Gaines sold Mad in the 70s to Warner Communications, and then Warner Communications bought DC Comics. So, Mad used to be self-owned for many years, EC Publications, and Gaines made fun of both sides equally. It wasn't all Republican or all Democrat. They made fun of everybody. It looks like the Mad of this time period, which has no relation to the real Mad. It leans more liberal. But anyway, so this is I never got this tiki mug. I guess I got distracted by the COVID-19 fad. Anyway, Mad used to reprint in the early 70s, mid 70s. They'd reprint a little comic inside showing what Mad used to be like in the 50s. But in this issue, they reprint plot number 1 in here. And except this facsimile of plot number 1 is in all slick paper. And I don't know, people that collect comics don't have a negative attitude towards plop. or they've never collected it, and it has this wonderful Bernie Wrightson art, and it's very much like what Mad was when Mad started in the early '70s. It was a horror, a humorous horror book, and then it became more of a parody book. But the first few issues were more horror-oriented. Breaking Trump warns Brazil he'll be watching. I wonder what's going on in Brazil. Keep getting these. I'm recording this on my phone, getting notifications. Oh yeah, that's fantastic stuff. Anyway, so I had to get this issue because it has plot #1 in it, and I'm a plot fanatic. Okay, so that's that. From Mike Hoffman is this book, Eerie. Man, June 2025, so this is brand new. He's been putting this book out for a while. I guess he restarted it. Let me turn the sound down a little bit. This is a great... obviously, it's supposed to look like a Warren magazine. There's already a company doing that. Warrant puts out Shudder and Vampirus Carmilla. And but this guy's been doing this Eerie for a while. And he kind of has a Frazetta Ken Kelly style of painting. That's next issue. So anyway, it's something that should be supported is horror magazines, done like the old style horror magazines. See, this guy's trying to draw like Alex Toth, or Toth, or whatever you want. Oh, it's Hoffman. He does all the art. He does different styles. He could imitate Frazetta. He could imitate Alex Toth. He can imitate... yeah, he does all the styles. That looks a little like Val Mayrick, you know. It's good. It's great. It's I love it. Yeah, here's another story he did. He does all the stories, and each story he does it in a different art style. That's great. It looks like there's a bunch of different artists working on it, but it's all one artist. Was it the ACG comic book line back in the 60s? There was like one guy writing, but he used all these different names, so it looked like they had a whole crew of writers, but he would come up with different names. I haven't bought a copy of Lady Death since the 1990s, and I was thinking I've got a Lady Death action figure in there. I thought, well, let's do it. What's up with Lady Death? She was a character from the 90s that wasn't as obnoxious as most of the 90s stuff. I guess she's still out there. Much better drawn than most stuff. Yeah. The story so far: stranded in an alternative dystopian future Earth where her evil persona, Empress Death, has nearly extinguished the human race, things get worse for our Lady Death. Has Lady Death finally met her match? For these answers and more, read on. This comes from Coffin Comics, where Coffin Comics are good comics. Remember, Dell Comics are good comics. Okay. I got more. Let me go get the rest. Hold on. my gosh. Here's an issue of Batman Family. Now, if this was put out as a film, would those people be saying, that's just too silly, man. I want my movies serious. I want them mature. Yeah, I'm confident about this Superman movie, but I'm also, you always got to be a little leery, of what politics could be shoved in. And this was a good time period for Batman Family. This is issue 4. It's probably going to be from, let me guess, April of 76. Let's see. March, April 76. I did pretty good. I swear I didn't look. I like to play that game and just guess. What they would do at this time period is they'd have a new story at the front, right? And then they'd have another story. Then they'd give us a story from the Silver Age or before. This is Batman meets Fat Man. I'd always loved to see the old stories. That was so much fun. Look at this. Nothing more 70s than this model kit ad on the back from Monogram. And then there's an elongated man story in the back. Oh, and it's a World's Finest story, I think. Yeah, because it's a 60s. Looks like from probably about 67, 68 story about Batman teaming up with the elongated man. I love the older stories they'd give us. Now when DC did that experiment in, I think, 1979, where they went to selling some of their comics as dollar comics that were 100 big, thick comics, thick like Golden Age comics. They had this big thing on it, I think, that said no ads and no reprints. And it's like, wait a minute, I like the reprints and I like the ads. Don't take that from me. The reprints were part of the fun. Anyway, so that's a good one. Okay, let's look at some fake comics. This is a fake copy of First Appearance of the Punisher. They call them facsimiles. They're the best thing happening in comic books today, is the reprints of old stories, because the new stuff stinks. And there's Evel Knievel. One day he was in a bad mood and took a baseball bat and beat up a reporter with it, and then his toys stopped selling. The mothers stopped buying the toys. That man is bad. I don't want you to grow up to beat people with baseball bats. Not to mention all the other injuries that kids got on their big wheels and stuff. Oh boy. Anyway, it's weird to see these ads reprinted on glossy paper. They didn't do a very good job reprinting that ad, but oh well. Look at an 8-track ad on slick paper. Not that they didn't have slick paper in the 70s, it's just they didn't have it on comic books. Helen Reddy, I Am Woman. This music we're playing is sunshine pop music from 1969 that never existed until about 2 weeks ago when I created it on Suno.com. Because they didn't really do sunshine pop music about the house that dripped blood and Nephilim and everything. So I'm looking at some of these bands. What could I recreate through AI? Should I try to? I haven't tried to do a James Brown song. I see James Brown there. Anyway, my fourth grade teacher had this comic there for us to read when we finished our classwork there with the class library. And who knew that it would someday become a super valuable comic? But I remember he had this one, and he had the Famous Monsters issue with Linda Blair with that green tongue sticking out. Except he'd removed the cover from that one. He probably was afraid someone would complain. But the Famous Monsters, the rest of the issue was there, just sans cover. I don't think I've ever said the word sans before, and I've read it. I've never said it out loud before. Look at me being fancy. Oh, look at this fancy facsimile. Fantastic Fears. Here's we need some more light. Oh, yeah. Hey, you know something? That growling that Drew did probably was because the mailman was coming in. Let's go see if the other package showed up. Because it's 10:30. Yeah, the mail should be here by now. Man, it's almost time for Alex Jones. There's Ambrose the cat getting some sun out here on the porch, and there's Alan. Where's Callie the cat? She might be upstairs. These cats are leading their best lives, man. They were farm cats. We adopted them after they were a few months old, but they lived through freezing weather, like sub-zero temperatures. One of their siblings froze to death, but we rescued them. Is the package here? Oh, the mailbox is sticking up, so it must be there. Let's see. It's here, man. I got it. Here it is, in a little Gemini package. I've got a knife, man. There's Callie the cat, also known as Meowie Wowie. She was out there the whole time. I just didn't see her. Casper the Friendly Ghost, your head is so big, how did you die? You make people shit their pants. Remember this song? Put out by Harvey Comics. Yes, indeed. Come on, babe. Come on, man. It's not good to get me around things that are sharp. Come on, man. Thought I got all the tape. Come on, man. Okay, got it. Got it. More tape. Oh, I got it. Is there anything else in there? No. Yeah, there was they were giving Iron Man and Submariner their own comics in 1968, and so they still had one more episode in their regular comics, which was Tales of Suspense and Tales to Astonish. So they put out this one shot to finish up those stories, and then they let them start their own series. Yes, indeed. I've never owned this. This is, in fact, I've never seen it in person. I've probably seen it on a wall at a convention, but I've never had the opportunity to get a copy. Graphic Man was talking about this on the Four Color Fossils show and said he would sell it for an affordable price. And so I contacted him and said yes. It was once owned by Betty Jean Wall. See, and they're telling you they're getting their own comics coming up. How about that? Call him Destiny or call him Death, but don't call him late to dinner. Fantastic. I have the issues right before Tales to Astonish and Tales of Suspense, so now I can read the next installments. Fantastic. It's a comic book smorgasbord here on July the 7th, 2025. July 16th is I started this channel in 2019. A few months before the COVID-19 fad. And so that would make it 7 years, right? Or is that 6 years? 19 to 20. Maybe it's only 6 years. It's all right. I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, okay, wonderful. 6 years. 6 years of fun. This facsimile is a little more expensive. These are, this one is for like, I don't know, $15. So that's ridiculous, Grottu. Are you an idiot? That's already established, but why would you pay so much? Because you know how much it would cost to buy an original copy of this? Why would I not buy it? And they try to give it a feel of old type paper, but it's high quality paper they use. Man, Television Bank, let's see, what year do you think this was originally published? I'm guessing 50. Should it be 53 or 52? I'm going to go with 52, and I'm going to go with February of 52. Let's see. November of 53. I should have stuck with 53. New 1953 Space Commander of Vibromatic walkie-talkies. I wish cell phones looked like that. Fantastic stuff. if you like this kind of music, you can hear it on my radio program, but not many people are watching. But I don't think people that are into comic books like my music, but some people do. But hopefully, she says go away. Hopefully those comic book people will go away, and I'll get new viewers that appreciate my music. Oh my gosh. How about that? Fantastic. Oh my gosh. Is it time for Alex Jones? Is it 11? I don't want to turn my head to look at the clock. Tell me down in the comments below if it's 11 o'clock or not. Okay, here's a fake Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel 26. I'm laughing because that's the way. Remember the Crypt Keeper of Castle Hills? He's still around. He's on Rumble. He's putting up just about everything he's ever owned on VHS onto Rumble. Cool, old, unbelievable movies and TV shows. He's still around, but he's on Rumble because YouTube. He was just too hot for YouTube. Anyway, I'm laughing kind of like he would do because I look at the back and I realize how many of the original issues of these Captain Marvel comics, they had these cards on the back, and the kids were encouraged to cut them out. And so many copies, you can almost just assume that the kids cut these out. I'm just laughing. Captain Nazi. He is obviously a villain. Let's take a look. Yeah, this is very nice. It feels like a phone book. It's nice quality. The one thing about these original issues is the registration was off and off a little bit. The printing, the art was wonderful, but the printing may not always be like spot on. It's not on every page that's like that. Anyway, these kind of books, you wonder where do you get these facsimiles? I would contact Kevin Johnson at Gotham City Comics. He gets these in quite frequently. And if you want him to keep getting them, you gotta buy them from him. August 1943, so we're obviously during World War II, if that wasn't a clue. And that's Balbo. I don't know who Balbo was, I'm sorry. This was a little bit before my time, but I sure do dearly love these old Fawcett comics. Which are startlingly affordable. Although, I mean, compared to what you would think they would cost, they're cheap. But, you know, if you I'm going to start buying Captain Marvel comics because I can get a copy of Captain Marvel for $60, $70. And then you start buying a whole bunch of them for $60, $70. And then you're in a little bit of trouble. So, I don't know. Buying Golden Age comics is great if you got the finances. But I don't know about it. Hitler is saying, America, stop buying bonds. Fools, you will make me lose the war. And then Captain Marvel says, hear him scream, pals? He wants you to stop buying bonds and stamps. I know Americans, that means you're going to keep buying all the war bonds and stamps you can. And this guy is saying to Billy Batson, just to give Hitler a little more of a headache, Billy, tell him soldiers are buying war bonds too. Holy moly, when he finds out you buy as well as fight, he'll chew his mustache off. You've done your bit, now do your best. Fantastic. Wonderful reading on a summer afternoon. This reminds me of that scene in Animal House where John Belushi smashes that hippie's guitar. Beatnik. I guess that would be more of a beatnik. Folk singer. Okay. Here's Hulk 202. Damn, that was a bad thing when those barcodes started being started putting them on comics, man. I hate that. Oh my god. I am not feeling good today. I'm feeling kind of shaky, man. Incredible. Greg Brady. No, he looks a little more like, who does he look like? We were just talking about Otter from Animal House. He looks like that Tim Matheson, Johnny Quest. It's had a little bit of water damage, moisture damage. Probably someone had it on the floor in the bathroom while they're reading it. It's all right, man. Just what's a little urine on your comic? It's okay. It's fine, man. I'll just put it in my non-existent press. Yes, indeed. Incredible. Is it 11 o'clock yet? Oh, when is this from? Well, it's got 25 cents. That means it's probably... That means that it probably was about to go to 30 cents. So I'm going to say... November of 76. August of 76. Okay, I'm pretty close. 76. So comics were only 30 cents for like a year, because I think by the summer of 77 they were going up to 35 cents, because right, Star Wars #1 had 35-cent price variants. So yeah, thank you, Jimmy Carter. And the prices went up pretty steadily all through the 70s, regardless of whether it was Republican or Democrat. Incredible. Here's another fake comic. I didn't own the original. I'm not sure why they did a facsimile of this. Why this is usually they do facsimiles of issues that are key issues. This is a cool issue, but I don't know if it's key. Got all these cool portraits in the back. Again, Marvel does their facsimiles on this slick paper. This one's already about a year old. Ooh, that gives me a clue as to when it came out. I bought that issue of Giant Size Chillers. How could anyone not buy that? The introduction of Lilith. Lilith was Adam's first wife, right? There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, the Bible talks about I'm not sure if I believe there were 600 angels, right? And a third of them went bad, right, and rebelled. So because I think 200 rebelled, the fallen angels, and I think they land. Is it right? They landed at Mount Hermon, and then these fallen angels, which were also called Watchers, right? Am I correct? Because a lot of this stuff, almost these comic books are actually all kind of based on stuff from the, because if you really look at it, all religions are all actually they all make sense because these fallen angels had had they found the women, human women, attractive and had children with them, and those children wound up becoming abnormal giants. And then that was part of why the earth was flooded, is to get rid of these that they called them Nephilim, right? They were the offspring of human women and the fallen angels, and these giants were mostly all wiped out. But I think one of Noah's son's wives had Nephilim blood or something, and so there's still people with that Nephilim blood. And then the giants that were killed in the flood, their spirits are still around, and they're called demons. And then there's people today that have this bloodline from the fallen angels, and they're all embedded in all the governments and everything. But a lot of these other cultures that worship Thor or Zeus or a lot of these stories were actually about Nephilim, these giants that were they were actually, so because the Bible says there were giants in those days. So it may be true that all these mythologies, what we call mythologies, and other religions actually all kind of make sense together. I don't know, because somebody built those pyramids, right, man? I don't know. Oh, some wonderful artwork in here. Look at this. I don't know. What if all these comic books are all based on? Because it's like there's a lot of weird stuff in these comics, man. Like Love Spray perfume. What the hell was that? I can't believe they sold that in comics. Okay. So this is pretty great. As far as when it came out, I'd say April of '75. Let's see if I'm right. The facsimile was February of 2024. Come on, are you going to tell me or not? Nah, they don't tell me. Oh well. I don't know. It's kind of mind-blowing when you start realizing that there's a lot of weird stuff happening out there. Okay, here's another facsimile of Detective Comics number 400. This is in that Neil Adams era, and I guess these books are somewhat pricey. I don't know, what are they, about $50, $60 books maybe? I don't know. You don't see them very often. Shit. That I'm not being smart here. Fuck. Slow and steady. I gotta pull the tape off, man. I'm being all I didn't get much sleep last night, and shit. And I'm shaky. I've got a headache. Oh no. this piece of tape stuck to the cover, and I got it off fine. It's only because it's a slick cover and it's a brand new book. That was a really stupid rookie move. You take the tape off, but I'm just wanting to get this episode over with so I can listen to Alex Jones, man. Find out what those Nephilim evil spirits are up to, man. The prayer, oh, my wife's calling. Prayers really works, and there are good angels out there looking out for us, and but there's bad ones also that are not looking out for us. Let me pause this television program and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. All right, well, my wife has bought some stuff on eBay. She bought some VHS tapes, and then the seller is like bugging her, are the VHS tapes okay? So she's relying on me to fire up this old VCR and check out these tapes to make sure they're okay. So I'll make dubs to the DVD recorder and everything. So I was gonna put on Alex Jones, but I'll have to watch that later. Or I can listen to it on my phone when I get done with this show. Anyway, she got these, it's a Danzig, the video, Lucifuge. Speaking of this demonic stuff, oh, there's something in it. Oh, there's a, speaking of fallen angels. Anyway, this is, this looks real. This doesn't look like a bootleg. It's not rewound, but this kind of looks like a bootleg to me, or I don't know. It's from England. Hopefully, it's in our system. So I think this is one of those foreign bootlegs, man. I don't know. And then this one looks real too. It's so I gotta fire these up, man. So I gotta get a move on here. Okay, here's Fantastic Four 145. I didn't happen to have this issue. This is around the time period that I discovered Fantastic Four, but I never got this issue. So now I've gotten it like 700 years later. I would say it's January of '74. What do you think? Come on, man. Where is 90? It is April '74. I'm off by a little bit. Beautiful. Look at that, man. Look at that guy. This is when the Human Torch had a red suit there for a little bit. Oh, man. Some great stuff. Yeah, a lot of songs about fallen angels. Since they're attacking us, ladies and gentlemen, we're under assault. Let's see. Look what I'm not even pulling the tape off. This is one of those real, damn, I hate these, only use, I prefer to use Silver Age bags and boards for Bronze Age books. These are just too snug, too dangerously snug. All right, what else do I have? It's not in good shape, but it's one I didn't have. Tomb of Dracula number 50 with Silver Surfer, who of course is supposed to be a fallen angel cast down to earth. Little bit of, remember Galactus had a big G on his chest originally because Stan Lee's original idea was, let's have the Fantastic Four fight God. And Harlan Ellison wanted that to be the plot of the first Star Trek movie. But they said, no, maybe not. Oh my gosh, it's cool to see this. I gotta get a move on. I got a lot of stuff to do. I'd say those tapes look okay. You know, they look okay to me. Let me get the electrical cord because we're gonna probably run out of power soon. I'm gonna plug you guys in with this cord. Okay. Charging 80%. Okay, we had more power than I thought. I think I already have this issue, but I got it again because I wasn't sure. From Atlas Seaboard. I'm almost positive, but that never hurts to get these anytime you possibly can. This is a very special person. The Democrats are going to run him for president next time. (1975), the comic book company that was created out of anger and hatred. Look at the big stars of Atlas Seaboard are selling these toys. Of course, they weren't big stars yet, and they never did become big stars. But and oh, this is cool. This Flash Gordon record that he's selling here, see that? It has Buster Crabbe actually playing Flash Gordon, and that came out in the early 70s or possibly late 60s. You can hear that record on YouTube if you look around. Just type in Official Adventures of Flash Gordon or Flash Gordon record, Buster Crabbe. He is the Grim Ghost, number 3. Yeah. Martin Goodman was the publisher of Marvel. He wanted his son, Chip, to take over. And instead they put Stan Lee in as the publisher, and he was angry. He was going to retire. He wanted his son to take over, and so he said, I'll form my own company, and I'll run those bastards out of business. I know how to make comic books. And so he started a company called Atlas Seaboard, and it didn't last but just a few months, really. Another fake comic, facsimile, fake similes. DC is good about not putting a barcode on the front. They put it there very small on the back. Fly your own 747 jumbo jet. I remember 747s. It was a big deal back then in the early 70s. They were so amazing, and they'd make those airport movies about them, you know, having horrible problems. Oh man, what is all this hippie stuff? Well, hippy dippy stuff. Woodstock. It's got to be 1970 because Woodstock was at the end of was 69. So I'd say, let's say February of 70. Are they going to tell me? 71. Don't give them months. The facsimile came out May 2024. So the facsimile's been out a year. How about that? Oh, this is something that Kevin sent me for free. Every day is Halloween. That's Eric Pigors, the artist. Thank you for that. And here's Super Team Family number 14. Okay. Yeah. See, this is the source material. Remember that when these people are complaining about James Gunn's movie being too silly, it's based on comic books like this. And they say, well, I just want my movie to be mature. Well, then, it's not like this stuff's based on William Shakespeare. Here's Action Comics 405. Ooh, this is an old bag and board. I'm gonna deep six it. Nice Aurora ad on the back for the torture monster scene models. They sell you torture chamber kits. This one's cool. It has an old Aquaman story in the back. I love the old reprints. The Haunted Island. Aquaman's playing baseball on the ocean, or he's sliding in. I'm sorry, I had to. There's a vigilante story. These people that don't even have hardly, 600-700 subscribers, not many, they're getting thousands of views on videos about the Superman movie. That may be something I need to do, is just do a little short video on Superman, and maybe I can attract some people, because this channel is honestly floundering. Every time I gain 2 subscribers, I lose 2 subscribers. People don't like my content. That's all right. I'll keep going, but I don't know. I don't think it's going to ever get much. This is a beat up issue of Submariner number 5. John Buscema, artist. Roy Thomas writing. There's some, big time Marvel shipping. This is weird. The whole book seems to have like missing color. It's almost I'd say it was left in the sun, but it wouldn't affect every page. It's almost like part of the printing press, the printing cycle. They were short on a particular color, some colors missing. Does anyone else have a copy of Submariner number 5? Take a look at it and see if it has these. It's weird. Yeah, see, it's hard to read the words there because something's missing. It's all right. And here's, I have a copy of this issue. Mine is in bad shape. This one might be in slightly better shape, which is, well, maybe not, but slightly better. It's Wonder Woman 179. She's turning into a karate, jiu-jitsu, martial arts expert. She's basically, they're getting rid of her costume and becoming like Emma Peel there for a little bit. I think that lasted about a year. They were trying to get the comic to sell, basically. Man. Oh, boy. Okay. Oh, gee whiz. There's a collection of war comics from Atlas, which later would become Marvel. No relation to the Atlas Seaboard comic I was just showing you. This is a series of books reprinting the Atlas comics. Marvel's not putting these out. Marvel's not smart enough or proud enough of their past to put these out. They're being put out by I believe Fantagraphics, yeah. See, there's the Fantagraphics logo. This is, they put out one that reprinted the Venus stories and one that reprinted horror stories. And I think they put out a crime one. I don't think that one was ordered by Kevin. But anyway, these are Korean War era stories. Yeah, these are Korean War stories. And they got ads too, isn't that great? Fantastic. Fantagraphics' fourth volume of the Atlas Library presents the never-before collected run of the first 8 issues of Marvel/Atlas's war comics. The first shots fired in a gritty genre that grew explosively at Atlas during the 1950s. Legendary creators Gene Colan, Russ Heath, Joe Meneely, Dave Berg, Alan Bellman, Mike Sikowski, and others, often drawing on their own wartime experience, bring to life unforgettable images of the brutality and grimness of armed combat. Unseen for decade, uns, unseen for decades, these stories have been scanned from the original comics, beautifully restored and accompanied by an authoritative historical essay by Atlas historian Dr. Michael J. Vasallo. Okay, well, I gotta record some Danzig stuff, so I'll gotta get everything set up here. So. Okay. Okay. Where is my remote control? Ugh. We'll watch Alex Jones while I'm setting this up. No, not YouTube. I went to the wrong place. Sorry. To watch Alex Jones, you got to go to Rumble. So then you go to Live, and then it's always one of the first ones, InfoWars. Then you got to click through a couple of ads.
The new forgiveness program is wiping out $20,000 of debt for all Americans. I'll add the website below.
Skip.
Don't you know the pink salt trick recipe yet? Come with me and I'll teach you. This is the secret to melting
Go on, man.
fat
Skip.
without-
Okay.
Interspersed other key news today with Roger Stone, Kyle Seraphin, and
Okay.
others. But first, let's go back in the last year to the time vault with President Trump and J.D. Vance and what they had to say about the Epstein client list. We're now told doesn't exist. Here it is.
But a lot of people went to that island. But fortunately, I was not one of them.
It's just very strange for a lot of people that the list of clients that went to the island has not been made public.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Probably will be.
So if you're able to,
Okay.
Yeah, certainly take a look at it. Now, Kennedy's interesting because it's so many years ago. You know, they do that for danger too, because, you know, endangers certain people, et cetera, et cetera. So Kennedy is very different from the Epstein thing. But yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
Everybody in politics has a vice that's much worse than alcoholism, is the way that I put it. But we
at least the list.
seriously.
Okay, I've got this long extension cord. Then this VCR here needs to be plugged in.
There's a lot of pieces to this,
Oh boy.
and it's important to review the history some.
Where's the
Seraphin,
cord here, man?
Very well known, very respected FBI whistleblower. So much what we know about the estate of corruption, sorry, Americans, him, others. Roger Stone, obviously long-term confidant and wingman, who knows a lot about Trump's sexual proclivities. And I can tell you from many other sources, it's not children, and it would have been brought out.
Okay, so that should fire up the VCR.
The left tried to put on about him is true.
Okay.
That said, here's a summation of what's going on, and then I'm going to walk
All
through.
right, I need some.
They knew the Democrats.
Oh boy,
And his daughter,
I need some RCA cables.
giant pro.
Which are the red and white for sound and the yellow for
Layers of
video.
curiosity.
And I've got a million of them, but right now
And so,
I can't tell you where they're at.
now 4 months ago. And then, Bondi went on Fox News and said, yes, there's
This is not,
thousands of files.
or is it?
Computer files, video files, you name it. It's terrible. Children
This
abuse
is
and
some
all that.
other kind of thing.
And then she got caught under
Fancy cable. Here's the Blu-ray player that my wife was wanting. She said, "Where did you put that Blu-ray player?" This is it, I think. Well, at least I found that. Oh, there's some RCA. Come on, man. What the hell is the... No, this is not what I need. Boy. Okay. Wow. I forgot. What?
15, 16, 17 years ago, Trump kicked him out, trying to pick up his 14-year-old daughter, which is what he was well known for, going out procuring. And
look at this painting that I just have in the closet. It had a frame. This is some Korean artist. My brother brought this back from Korea. How about that? I could be using this closet for some storage. Okay. RCA cables. I mean, I could take... Oh, are they here? Okay, RCA. Oh, I think I know where they could be. Hold on a second. Well, I've found the sound part, red and white. Now I just gotta find the maybe in the garage. How about that idea? Oh boy. There's the Demolition Derby on, is it Friday night? Would you guys like me to, last year I told you I would videotape it and I never did. This is the ones that I've got. Adventures into Terror, as far as the Atlas Comics Library. Volume 2 is Venus. Volume 3 is The Days of the Rockets, In the Days of the Rockets. Volume 4 is the War one. There's a Volume 5, but I think it's Crime. And I'll get it someday. But I got a lot of stuff I gotta do, man. Okay, Cat, you can't come out in the garage, man. That'd be bad. How can I get in the cat's gonna... I don't want the cat to even be aware that garage is there. Tell you what, maybe I'll take the elevator to the garage so that maybe hopefully the elevator is at this level. No, it isn't. Shit. Let me go upstairs. Okay. We're in the elevator. Wait, there may be some RCA cables laying here on the floor of the elevator. Is that what those are? Let me check. God, I have so many RCA cables, and then you can never find them when you need them. But while I'm doing this, there's a lot of VHS I need to transfer to DVD. Next up, the garage. So here we go. Yeah, is this cable down here? No, it's a electric. It's like a cable for like some video game system. Okay. Yeah, man. Okay. Oh, here's a bunch of cables. Oh, excellent. Just what I need. Fantastic. Okay. So all these VHS need to be transferred. Oh. Let me see how wide this is. I'm wondering if I could fit this machine in the basement. I'm gonna do a quick 2. Okay. Oh, let me turn off the lights. Well, hope you enjoyed this little haul video. I even hate that word haul. It's almost as bad as key issue in comic book community. I hate every term. I don't know why I do. Why do I hate everything so much? What's wrong with me? That's why no one likes me. That's why no one subscribes to this channel. Oh, that guy, that boy, he's just filled with hate. He hates everything comic book. He hates the 90s. Oh man, I'm feeling a lot of cool air coming from down here. Okay, now we're in the basement. Why did I come down here? I can't even remember. Oh, I was gonna check the door here. Let's see if it'll. 1, 2. I think the machine will fit through that door. Will it fit through here? 1, 2, looks like it. Now the next question is, will it fit through this door? 1. I think it will. You want to see me move that on video? I don't know if I can do it, man. You want to see me get a hernia? You want to see me get crushed? Probably. Make for great content. First, let me start recording this Danzig thing. Okay. Meowie wowie, what's going on with you? Little cat's meowing.
For the country and the world, if this all comes out, all these corporate leaders and bankers and people doing this, if this comes out, it'll bring the country down. And we got the UK, and the King of England is going to get in line with us, everybody else with this information, but they don't want that held over their head. You're going to have to come out, and you're going to have to tell everybody. He didn't kill himself without a ridiculous video of the hallway entrance to the wing, and cops
Oh man.
dragging trash cans around and bringing people food. And I don't know what it was down
Okay. We're going to use this VCR. Okay, it's already plugged in. Now, they're saying there was no Epstein client list, and Alex Jones is really upset about that. He knows something's being hidden. Let's see. Out. Yellow. White. Red. Okay. Now we're going to record to this. So yellow, white, red, killer fellow. No, that's not the stain. Okay. Danzig. Let's see. Which one's longer? This one is only 40 minutes long. This one is what is this one? This one looks questionable as far as legitimacy. I think it's a European from London. 100 minutes. Okay. I don't like that there's tape over the hole where you could record over it. You take that off. Well, I don't know. I just won't record over it. Okay. I gotta make sure none of this Danzig stuff appears on camera, because Glenn Danzig patrols YouTube personally to make sure that people aren't putting up bootleg versions of his stuff. Okay. Which I don't blame him for. He likes to control his image. Okay. It went in. Doesn't automatically play. That's right, because they don't. Okay. Let's play. Let's make sure I'm recording in standard play. Fantastic. Now we press play. Just like the old days, man. How many oh boy. Yeah, this isn't an official release. This is some concert someone recorded with their camera in England. Okay, well, how about that, man? Glenn Danzig. How many thousands of video tapes did I record back in the old days? Come on, why is it not playing? What's happening? Don't tell me it's copy guarded. That would be hilarious. Ugh. No, it's going. All right. Amazing.